Most bankers aren't ready to help you until after their third cup of coffee. But with Central National Bank's after-hours service, you don't have to wait for the bank lobby to open to get help. You can contact us from 6 to 8:30 in the morning or from 5 to 10 in the evening, and we'll connect you to a real, live, local person who can answer questions and fix problems 7 days a week. Bank different. Bank Central. Central National Bank. Member FDIC.
Bwaaa!
Bwaaa trash fight all through the night, deep in the heart of Texas. The trailer park is nice and dark, deep in the heart of Texas. Dad drinks his brew and he spits his chew, deep in the heart of Texas. The TV blares but no one cares, deep in the heart of Texas. Here we go!
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Bwaaa, King of the Hill Rewatch Podcast. I am Mike.
I'm Rusty.
Rusty, welcome to Friday.
Welcome to Friday. That ain't right.
Mason has prepared a list of things for us today. Mason, you want to give us a little introduction? Let us know what we're looking at.
Mason. What we got
Technically,
today?
I didn't do anything, but
Oh, you looked it up.
I'm just thinking about plot holes. We kind of were talking about what do we want to do, and so I found a list on the always reliable, always great, I'm using air quotes here, CBR.com, comicbookresources.com. Sometimes they make good lists. It's one of those sites, I'm sure if anyone's here, who makes top 10 plot holes, top 10 all these movies ranked, best character, worst character, or best TV shows of all time, best anime stuff of all time. Sometimes they're good, sometimes they're total crap, but I figured we'd go through. They have a top 10 plot holes in King of the Hill.
Top 10 plot
June 9th of
holes.
2021. I'll put the link somewhere.
Yeah,
it's not
yeah.
a bad list. Just also sometimes some of these aren't plot holes. They're just inconsistencies. But
Okay.
That's just me. We'll see.
So what's number one?
Real quick, we'll go through the definition of a plot hole.
Oh, please do.
According to Google, an inconsistency in the narrative or character development of a book, film, television show, etc.
Sure, got it.
Okay.
So it's all continuity based.
Continuity based,
right?
I guess what was a plot hole is if you want to go to Star Wars, why was the weakness in the Death Star ever made?
Yeah, twice.
Period.
Yeah, it was made twice.
They kind of
Yeah.
retconned it in Rogue One, but
Yeah.
it doesn't really. Why was? I mean, we know why that weakness was there, but why?
It's just a big open laundry chute.
Yeah.
Whoa!
I'll pick that up later.
Mason fell down.
Wow.
Number 10 of 10.
10 of
Bobby's
10.
Excellent marksmanship never returns.
That's true.
One of the major tenets of
Okay.
Hank and Bobby's relationship in King of the Hill is that their talents and interests largely don't align in a way that inspires Hank to lament that his boy ain't right. King of the Hill finds endless ways to explore this dynamic, but also subverts it.
I'm so sorry. That would be my phone.
That is okay. Early on
It could have been a
in the
less funny
run,
noise,
it's
That's great.
revealed that Bobby is a natural shot. I think you guys covered that episode already.
Yeah, we covered
Yeah.
that
Bobby's
episode.
proficiency in this area never returns, and on a few occasions when he's out hunting, seems to have poor aim with his targets and in general.
Yeah.
Is this a
I
plot
don't
hole, or
really.
is it just an inconsistency?
I think it might be an inconsistency because I personally don't remember too many episodes where Bobby's using guns. I know that I guess they do have
Well, that's
the
what I was
hunting
going to say. I
episode.
mean, that just doesn't really come up again.
Yeah, it doesn't really come up that much.
They
I
didn't
don't
really
think
have to do.
when Bobby was hunting, I don't think didn't he miss on purpose? Like
one time. Plus, in the episode where Lady Bird might or might not get rabies, he shoots Bandit very easily. So I think this was just kind of an
yeah, he was because he pointed the gun and he was going like that, and then he shot the raccoon. Yeah. I don't know. I think that might be a.
That's just an inconsistency. That's just something that never came back up. I don't see that as really a plot hole.
Plot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, what you got? What's next?
Number 9, Peggy's pivot to real estate. Part of what makes King of the Hill such a fascinating animated series is that it allows its characters to change and grow in ways that last.
That's true.
Peggy is largely defined as a substitute teacher for King of the Hill's run, but she eventually makes a few career pivots, including a run in real estate. Peggy repeatedly preaches how she's a natural teacher and is dictated in everything that she does. Her stint at a newspaper makes a little more sense since she has a history with her musings column, but real estate is random.
And again, I think this is just one of those inconsistencies. I don't think it's a plot hole. The only thing
It's
that
just a weird story direction.
Well, I think it's just them trying to do something interesting with the characters.
Yeah, you could say plot hole if you want to say they never really touched on it after it wasn't like she was a realtor for like 5 episodes. It was that one episode, I believe, right?
It was
multiple episodes?
Yeah, she had it for
Yeah,
a
it
while.
was, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I get
Season
I don't know.
11
It
or
all
10.
runs. Okay, see, that's why is I'm really good on like the first like 4 or 5 seasons because I thought like it's just like with every show, like Family Guy. When Stewie went from maniacal to metrosexual, it was like it was
gradual.
It was I don't know. It changed the whole It changed the whole show's perspective for me to watch it. Like I really enjoy the first like 3 seasons of Family Guy, like over everything else they've ever done, kind of thing. Yeah. And it's the same with King of the Hill. There's just the earlier seasons to me are just grade A.
Oh yeah, and it's you could argue it's a plot hole like that she never actually gets a real estate license.
Yeah.
I remember the episode she becomes a realtor. The guy she's fired because she badmouthed the dude, Chris Sizemore. And then
Chris Sizemore
offers her a job because she
Sizemore Realty.
And she's there for a couple episodes.
That does sound like a realtor name, though, doesn't it?
Chris
Hello,
Sizemore.
my name's Chris Sizemore.
Yeah.
All right.
I actually met a guy at the party last night. His name was Chris Sizemore.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I don't believe
That's
it.
awesome.
I swear to God,
he was
a
great.
tour manager for a couple of bands. Yeah.
All right, 8 of 10. Geography of Rainy Street changes. King of the Hill is full of some truly wonderful characters that paint Arlen, Texas as a very real place, and it's Rainy Street that acts as a major hub for the hills and many of the show's characters. Rainy Street's geography becomes a plot point on more than one occasion, and sometimes actually bears significance, like with how Con is Hank's neighbor. The locations of Dale and Con's houses are inconsistent on a few occasions, with the biggest example being when Con's bathroom window is adjacent to Hank's kitchen and the stress that it causes him. They literally say inconsistent, and this is why sometimes I don't like this website, because it's not a plot hole, it's just inconsistent.
It's another inconsistency. You got to
Maybe
think
they
that
should-
when their animators are doing this stuff, like when they're writing all these storyboards and they're putting these images of where everything's at, there's a lot of people writing these shows. So just like little things might be off, and they might have to shift a little bit just to make the story right. Like when, like for instance, when Luann is dressing in front of the window and Con can see her when she's like half naked, kind of thing. Like those are the kind of inconsistencies you see with their houses, because sometimes it's Con Jr.'s room and Bobby's room. Sometimes it's the bathroom and Con seeing into the bathroom. Or
no, I have
Just making the
whatever
for the plot.
whatever they need for the story. It's not necessarily a whole, but it is a general inconsistency, I think.
We're gonna say, Mike.
Well, I was just going to say that I think I've brought that up several times. You can never tell where front yard is, backyard is, all that stuff. Yeah.
Well, it's because
it's just so weird.
I guess we don't really live in. I don't really live in an area, or have ever lived in an area where there is a back alley, and that's where you pull into your house is your back alley. I've never lived in an area like that, so whenever I guess sometimes when you're thinking they're standing in the backyard, I'm thinking in my mind they're standing in the front yard because
their garage.
My dad, when his buddies were drinking, they were in the front yard. They were in the driveway, pretty much leaning on cars when they were drinking beer when I was growing up.
Yeah.
And
it's kind of the way it feels here, but
it's in the backyard.
The weird part is like their front door is facing away from their garage, and their garage comes to their backyard.
How the houses are set up is weird. I guess it's just for like whatever fits for the shows to get the story out.
And it's not even really an alley. I mean, it's a full street back there.
You could argue this is actually the actual front of their house, but front door. It's just weird. It's just I think they made it that way.
You can't put a yard. You can't put a yard gnome in your backyard.
Yeah, it was like
by law in Texas, you have to put it in the front yard.
Yeah, it's like my friend's grandma. Every place I went that was kind of rural, they seem to use their back doors for their front end. That's where they go in to enter their home, is their back door.
Back door friends are best.
All right.
That's what I know how that sounds. But
I mean, it's not wrong.
Sounds like McLean County mugshot page is what it sounds like.
I have seen that on a lot of those foot mats.
Which shout out to the McLean County mugshot page
this
for
one actually,
barrels of laughs.
Might actually be one.
All right.
7 of 10. The representation of Peggy's mom and her family.
That like you know, because I'm on the same. I found the article that you're talking about. So yeah, that is, you could say that is a continuity issue that causes the plot holes for sure. Because when does she get to Arlen? How does she get to Arlen? That changes. Like how she gets there changes.
Yeah, they say
her mom literally changes. The animated character that her mom is different.
First she looks like Peggy. And
yeah.
then now she looks like whoever I guess meant to model the voice actress.
Yeah.
The article quickly. The article says King of the Hill typically does a good job when it comes to continuity surrounding their main character's extended family, but one of the more unfortunate and inconsistent plot holes involves Peggy's family. Peggy's mother is first shown to be a very passionate homemaker who doesn't look unlike Peggy and helps her learn some of her signature recipes. Later on, the Hills visit Peggy's mother, but now she's a rancher-type individual in Montana with a completely different style.
Yep.
There are similar problems around Peggy's brothers, who are painted one way, but then Hoyt turns out to be in jail. Yeah, sometimes you forget, Hoyt, where's Hoyt? How does Hoyt fit into any of this?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know where.
How did he and Leanne ever meet? Oh yeah, they said how they meet, but I don't see how. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, no, I kind of agree with you. And one of the things that I always had questions about is how do they both end up in Arlen? How do brother and sister both end up from Montana to Texas? Generally what happens is you have a family member that moves away, and it's just usually one person moves to one place, and then somebody will move somewhere else, that kind of thing. It's kind of, I always wondered how Peggy and her brothers all got to Arlen. I feel like it would have been more. I feel like it would have been more believable if they had in the story of the whole show, the whole continuity thing. They would have been
divorced and just
or college.
Yeah.
They went to Arlen Community College or something like that. Because when I was at MCC, there was people from all over. There's people from all over the United States going to McLean Community College because it is one. It's one of. It's top 5 in the nation for community colleges. So there was people from everywhere. So it is believable. It is a sad list, isn't it?
But then we know they met in high school. What? It makes no sense.
It's weird. There's a lot of continuity. That one is the first one out of the first 5 that we just discussed. I feel like that
it's an
actual hole.
Yeah.
Because there's that comes up in a lot of back and forths on Reddit and stuff for the King of the Hill. It's discussed a lot.
That one's just whatever's more convenient
and
at the time.
If everybody will please go to the Reddit forum and appeal for my unbanning, I would appreciate it. I've been banned on the King of the Hill Reddit forum because I spammed our link. So it happens.
All right, 6 of 10. Bill's relationship with Laoma Super. This might be. I don't quite remember how this episode ends. There's certainly a level of dark comedy that can be found in the character's perpetual sadness, and Bill Dauterive absolutely fulfills this role in King of the Hill.
Oh, yeah.
Bill's depressing nature often fuels his storylines, much to Khan's chagrin. Bill finds a steady and sweet relationship with Alma Sufanusenfoam. A really endearing bond forms between them, and then she suddenly just completely absent.
Disappears from the show.
And we do know, I remember that she was originally intended to actually be Bill's love interest.
She was supposed to be in there for a while,
changed their minds.
Well,
or Fox wanted to keep them serialized.
They wanted to remove away from character serialization. So if they would have had her in there, it would have been more like a serial character, and they didn't want to do that. I think they should have, or what they should have offered, at least at the very minimum, is a closure for their situation.
Yeah, that's true.
Because there's no official closure. There's no breakup or nothing. They just drop her off.
I thought they decided not to get together, not to be. I don't remember how that episode ends.
They were together. They at the end of the episode, they were they had this I think it was they were fine at the end of the episode.
Yeah, and she's just gone.
And then she just disappears.
Didn't she move in with Khan because she was broke or something?
Yeah.
That's one of those episodes that feels like it just runs out of gas.
Yeah.
I think that would have been amazing to explore their relationship.
Bill actually happy.
Them actually happy, but I feel like that kills Bill's, But again, they're about character development.
You could have
kill Bill's sadness and depression stuff, which is his gag.
You could have changed it to Bill is with this old lady. It could have been weird at that point instead of just sad.
Yeah. All right. We'll take Mike. Do we want to take a quick break since we're halfway through the list?
Yeah, let's take a quick break, and we will be right back.
fight all through the night. Deep in the heart of Texas.
All right, welcome back, guys. We are on the downhill slope on this list of inconsistencies and plot holes in King of the Hill. Mason, take it away.
It's technically supposed to be just plot holes, but I mean, CBR.
Yeah, well.
All right, 5 of 10 inconsistencies over Boomhauer's job. I hate to use inconsistent. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Over Boomhauer's job. Boomhauer is King of the Hill's enigmatic heartthrob, and part of the joke behind his mystique is that so little about him is known beyond some very broad strokes that he's painted for himself. It's a very funny gag in the series' final moments when it's revealed that Boomhauer is in fact a Texas Ranger member of law enforcement.
I don't know if that's a plot hole because he is very forthright. Whenever there's a bad situation, he is the first to tell whoever is an authority figure.
He's the first one to point a finger.
To say, hey, this is what happened. You know, so I feel like
even more so than Dale.
Yeah, even more so than Dale. And he doesn't like try to skirt around it. He tells you exactly like,
that's true.
Boom, Dale did it. Boom, this is the birds in the freezer. You know, that kind of thing. So
birds in the freezer.
I do agree with you guys, but however, they also go. However, much earlier in the series, he claims that he was an electrician until he received workers' compensation and left under.
Oh wow, I don't remember that.
Undisclosed reasons. These don't align and even paint Boomhauer as a very different character. I don't remember this. Maybe Artie does. I mean, it fits his character, though. The question is, when is he ever working? But you know that.
Oh wow. Okay. Let's see. Yeah, no, I don't really see anything about it either.
We'll have to go find that. We'll have to come back to that one eventually. All right, you guys ready for 4?
Let's go.
Let's go for it.
This works because we talked about him today. Heck Dorland's character completely changes in his 2 appearances. King of the Hill has a solid core cast, but there's also a robust number of supporting players that make their mark.
Oh, sorry, I don't mean to interrupt you. If I don't tell you, I'll forget. It was 9 pretty darn angry men, so it was a recent episode.
Yeah,
it was.
I do remember. Yeah, he said he was an electrician.
Yeah, I remember that now.
Oh wow, okay.
So was he just lying, or I don't know?
Maybe he's undercover, or he could be undercover, or he could have been. It could have been under compensation or whatever for workman's comp, but he could have went to law enforcement school and became a Texas Ranger or something. Like he didn't have to be a Texas Ranger for the whole show. He could have became a Texas Ranger at any point in 13 seasons.
Yeah, that's fair. All right, Heck, like I said, Heck Dorland is a firefighter who only shows up in 2 episodes, but they're both in the context of his firefighter duties. These 2 episodes are over 10 years apart, but they still have totally different depictions of Heck.
Oh, really?
Down to a new voice actor with a new take on the role. The consistency provided with Heck as one of Arlen's resident firefighters is appreciated, but this attention to detail makes these other major omissions stand out. That's a big pull.
That is a big one, but again, it's 10 years apart.
It's 10 years apart, and the people that probably wrote the episodes 10 years apart might not even be the same full room of writers.
I'm sure it's not the same room of
writers.
The
writer's room changed. I think
Show Bible,
like season 6.
Show Bible is what's supposed to support that kind of stuff. But even like something as recent as Better Call Saul, one of the main characters towards the end, they had to recast the whole person, so it's a whole different person. Even though that show was fantastic in the way that it told out the story at the end,
kind of like Fresh Prince of Bel-Air.
It was hard to see one of the main characters that causes the downward slide at the end change to a completely different actor.
We won't see him again until season 13 with Born Again on the 4th of July. So hopefully we'll remember this in when we get to that
there you go.
In 2050?
Yeah, in 2050.
All right.
What's next?
That could be a plot hole. I don't know.
What are we on, 3?
Yes, 3. Peggy doesn't know how to ride a bike. Peggy Hill is one of the more controversial characters in King of the Hill just because of how stubborn and full of herself she can be.
Yeah.
But it's this consistent character work that makes her such an enjoyable frustration. Peggy has a lot of pride, but she learns to swallow it when she allows Bobby to try to teach her how to ride a bike. I think that was, season 2?
Yeah.
It's a sweet moment, but there are countless moments before when Peggy rides a motorcycle or makes reference to doing so. She even goes on an extensive motorcycle road trip. Not a plot hole because the motorcycle trip is until season 5 or 6.
So she could have learned in that time frame. Yeah.
Because
that's just hard to believe, though, that somebody who can't ride a bike can all of a sudden 3 years later, or if you believe the alternate timeline, that in the same year she learns to ride a bike and goes on a big motorcycle trip.
Yeah. To be fair, Hank does drive most of that. So.
Well, isn't that the thing, is that she doesn't like it being called the bitch seat or something like that? And she's like, Hank, you can't call it that or something. Yeah.
I mean, maybe a plot hole, but if I remember correctly, the motorcycle thing is after Bobby teaches
That
her,
one
so.
doesn't get me near as much.
Yeah. All right, number 2 of 10. Hank's inconsistent negotiating tactics. Hank is stuck in his ways and an incredibly trusting individual.
True.
A prime example of this is when Hank gives a glimpse into his tactics behind making major purchases, like a new vehicle. The concept of haggling and asking for below the sticker price isn't just foreign to Hank, but even seems borderline dishonest to the nature of salesmanship in some ways.
It's true.
This fits with Hank, but there's also occasions where he shows cunning and restraint when it comes to truck purposes. Hank's savvy here raises plot holes with how he's later still so trusting in the department. Is this a plot or is this inconsistent character
I think
work?
it's just inconsistent.
I think it's an inconsistency. Well, it might even just be because I always that particular episode always kind of was weird to me because I know Hank is a really trusting guy and all that stuff, but it just seems Hank not understanding for below sticker price is weird to me because he understands everything.
He's a grown man who should know that.
Yeah.
Well, not only that, he just seems like a guy who is willing to haggle, with people to get the best deal.
But he seems knowledgeable. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He's a salesman, so a salesman getting duped by another salesman is weird.
He doesn't really sell anything though that anybody's haggling over. Nobody's walking in and saying, "Hey, can I get this propane cheaper today?"
Yeah, no, nobody's
without
haggling.
having competitor coupons from Thatherton or somebody like that.
Well, maybe the commercial accounts they might do some haggling.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just see this as humanity in the character, honestly.
Yeah, I can see that. I do remember the sticker price episode though.
Oh yeah.
It's a funny one.
Yeah. All right, you guys ready for the final one?
Last one,
Let's
final
do it.
one, number
of
1.
10. Cotton gets cremated when he's supposed to be buried in a veteran cemetery. Cotton is certainly one of King of the Hill's more abrasive individuals, but there's a sweet and loving individual that's underneath under all of that savory aggression.
Is he?
To an extent, you got to
Come
think.
on.
Whenever
Bobby,
they finally
I
break
guess.
him down in
He
them
loves
episodes,
Bobby and the baby.
well, I don't think so. I think when you finally break him down, them episodes where he finally breaks down and he realizes that he's wrong.
I don't think
know.
that makes up for all the shit he put everybody
I don't think.
through.
I don't think it
with.
makes up for it, but I think that deep
Hank's
down,
wife.
I think that deep down, he isn't this extremely terrible person. He's hardened by the life he had to live, the life he lived.
I think he's
I
a
feel
terrible
like he
person.
was a jerk before he went to war.
That's exactly right. I don't think people
Ward's made it
change. I
worse.
think he is just a jackass.
I think he's just a jackass.
Yep.
For me,
Because
you know what should be a plot hole is how he got Dee Dee in the first
that's
place.
exactly right.
Yeah. Well, the back to the cremation
Dee Dee's
veteran
just an
thing.
idiot. That's what it is.
Veterans don't usually get cremated. War heroes generally have a spot for them, especially since he is not just an average soldier. He is he is a hero of war. He has medals and accommodations and things like that. So him being cremated is kind of
It says
suspect
he should
in
be
that way.
buried in a veteran cemetery.
Because mostly, my uncle, when he passed, one of my uncles, he was a veteran of Vietnam, and when he was buried, he wasn't buried in a veteran cemetery, but he was buried with a veterans. He's got the
flag or
the VA. No, he's got the VA headstones. The headstones that the VA gives out.
According to veteransfuneralcare.com, says that veterans can be cremated and is perfectly acceptable. There aren't any rules or regulations that will prevent you and your family from carrying out a cremation for a loved one who is a veteran. You're well within your rights to do so if that's your decision your family makes. You might want to cremate a veteran if they specifically ask for you to do it. You might also want to cremate them if you feel as though that would be best for the decision for them. Your family should just make sure that you put some time and effort into weighing your options. So,
yeah, but Cotton would have wanted to be buried.
Well, it says you can get access to cremation benefits for veterans in many cases. So it's not like it's unprecedented.
Yeah, it's not unprecedented. Maybe at that time frame, because now the world's more conscious of the mess that we create.
This is a GeoCities page, so this goes.
Oh, okay.
No,
I was fixing to say. Yeah, I was fixing to say that's funny.
It's my big
A
GeoCities joke for the day.
joke. There you go. But yeah, I feel like because it is true the demographic now there is more cremations.
That's true.
Than funerals due to the cost.
I want to be buried straight up and down.
Just like long ways.
Yeah. Why don't we bury people that way?
I don't know. I just want to be.
Doesn't that make more sense? Like you could use a lot more area, right?
I want to be burnt on a funeral pyre and sent to sea.
No, I don't want that. But I just want them to drop me in a hole.
That
I've told my wife many times when I die, man, if you can get $5 for me, sell me to science. Do
Sell
it.
me to
I don't
science.
care.
Sell me to science.
I do not care. Yeah, absolutely.
I mean,
Well,
what are you
Mason,
gonna do
that
anyway,
was
right?
that was a really good pull on your part, man. Pulling
I
up
like that.
list. Yeah.
I tried. They have. We might do some others because they have a few links to other stuff.
Oh, it's great.
Yeah, the one that I saw here that I want to kind of maybe do next time is they have this list we could discuss. It's called 5 possible King of the Hill spinoffs that fans would love and 5 that just ain't right.
Oh, there you go.
They also got 10 best Peggy Hill episodes. If whoever actually want to be nice to Peggy.
I would love to talk about Peggy for an entire episode. She is one of my favorite characters.
Here you go. Just to tease it, a TV show called Red Cornification.
I don't know what that means.
I
but
don't
okay.
either.
Oh,
we're not going to go that
probably
far
something
into
about
it.
John Redcorn, I'd imagine.
Sure.
Californication, but with John Redcorn.
Red cornification. Okay. All right, gentlemen. Well, that was fun. Thank you to everybody again for joining us on a Friday.
Yeah, we appreciate
I
you
hate
guys.
my voice so much.
No, it was good,
Nah,
Mason.
man,
You did a
good
great job.
stuff.
Rusty, tell them where they can find us.
You can find us on Linktree. I've created a Linktree where all
Linktree?
of our accounts are now compiled in one area for all you guys. It is linktr.ee/BWAAAKOTH. On there, you can find. I posted links to dang near every podcast site, and I posted our YouTube and a special music playlist there that you can find music.
Posted dang on every side, man.
There you go,
Right on the phone, right?
got dang Linktree.
On our Linktree.
And you can also find us at RogueMediaNetwork.com.
RogueMediaNetwork.com.
And don't forget RogueCon coming up.
RogueCon 23. Get your tickets at RogueCon23.com. 3 days of creator content, music, live shows, pig races. I don't think there's pig races, but lots of live fun stuff to do here in downtown Waco. Again, get your tickets. The whole weekend's $20. RogueCon23.com.
And you can find.
Go to the con.
You can also find me, Mike, and sorry, I am Rusty. Me, Mike, and Mason will also be doing a live show that Saturday.
That's right. Mason doesn't know it yet.
He doesn't know it yet.
Well, now I know.
2 to 3. Well, you're the producer, so who's gonna run the board while me and
That's
Mike
true.
are talking? So we're gonna need you there with a microphone that's hot, a hot microphone.
So leave it in the car for a while.
Yeah, leave it in the car.
All
Warm
right,
it up.
guys.
Put it in the microwave.
Thank you so much for joining us, and we will see you next time.
Wimatanye.
Wimatanye.
This has been a Rogue Media podcast.